Hi, welcome to our session on the New Jersey Seal of Biliteracy. My name is Elizabeth Franks, and Jacqueline Leon is with me co-presenting and going to help with any translation because most of this is in English. And just again, sharing what is happening in the state of New Jersey and how we are promoting biliteracy across the state. So first of all, if you are not familiar with this seal of biliteracy, we talk about what is it. So it's actually a designation that the Department of Education presents to graduating high school students who can demonstrate proficiency in English in addition to another language. Participation in this program is voluntary, so districts are not mandated to award the seal of biliteracy. A district has to opt in. And that's an important piece to know as a parent or an advocate, because again, districts do not have to do it, but if parents ask for it and you let the districts know that you're interested, I think that more districts will get involved. And we also know this last year with the pandemic was challenging. And so some districts did not participate last year, even though they had participated in other years. I don't know, Jackie, if you want to.
Absolutely. Bienvenidos a todos, buenos días a todos. La señorita BJ está comentando sobre el sello estatal de alfabetización bilingüe. Es un honor que se otorga en la secundaria ya a niños que se van a graduar. Lo importante de este sello es que es opcional. Entonces, la pregunta esencial que todos los padres deben de hacer a su distrito es que si se ofrece este honor en su distrito, los distritos sí tienen que seleccionar para participar en este honor, y si la respuesta es no, entonces los padres sí pueden pedir que los distritos participen. A veces van a tener que reunirse con otros padres para abogar para este honor que se traiga a su distrito.
So, un poco de historia, a little bit of history of how this all began in New Jersey. Actually, in 2012, it started in California. That was the first state, and the governor signed a bill on the seal of biliteracy. So we heard it on the car radio, and we investigated, what is this about? Why is California doing it? Why can't New Jersey do this too? And that started our journey.
So, un poquito de historia aquí. Todo comenzó aquí en New Jersey, en un bello día como hoy, escuchando la radio en su carro. Entonces, en el estado de California, en el 2012, firmaron un bill para que el sello se ortega a estudiantes en California. Y BJ y sus colegas se hicieron la pregunta, ¿por qué no aquí? ¿Por qué no en Nueva Jersey?
So first we did reach out to some legislators, and their answer was no, not now in New Jersey. So then our organization, NJTESOL-NJBE, reached out to our world language partners, which is FLENJ, and asked if they were interested in bringing it to New Jersey, and they said yes. So we started a pilot program, the two groups, in 2013 and 14, and we had that year 185 students receive a seal of biliteracy in 10 different languages, and we only had 7 districts participating. So this is just a graph that shows you how this program and initiative has been growing. So here was our first year, 7 districts, 185 students, 10 languages. Then we went up to 24 districts in 2 years, 727 students, 16 languages, 2018-19. And this is actually, these are the 2 years that the 2 organizations did this. And then the Department of Education, it passed a law, was passed, and the Department of Education started applying the seal of biliteracy. And look at the districts, 150 districts, 5,000 students and 25 languages. The last year that I have data, we had 188 districts, over 7,000 students, and again, 25 languages. So you see, it's a program that has been growing little by little. And that's why we actually need parents to ask in the districts about this program, because it is something that will definitely benefit our multilingual learners.
So, como ven aquí,
Go ahead, sorry. Oh, you're muted, Jackie.
sorry about that. So, como ven en esa pantalla, los números indican que el programa está creciendo. Es un programa que los padres, las familias y los estudiantes sí quieren participar. En el inicio, en el 2013 al 2016, fue un piloto que se hizo en 7 distritos para ver si este programa se podría crecer en el estado. Y como ven, en esos primeros años, hasta 727 niños recibieron este honor. Ya en el 2018, una ley se pasó estatal y este programa ahora está en el Departamento de Educación para el estado de Nueva Jersey. Y ya como vemos que casi más de 7,000 niños ahora se honran con este reconocimiento, que indica que sí son bilingües, porque ser bilingüe es que lo mejor.
So now there are 42 states and Washington, D.C. who have a seal of biliteracy. You can see green means they are working on it and early stages. So one day it'll be all 50 states and Washington, D.C. New Jersey was number 17 that adopted this as a law. So we're proud that we were in the beginning.
I'd rather have nothing, or I'd rather have 3 strips of bacon twice.
So why obtain a seal of biliteracy? And when we started, this is what we felt. This is a win-win for all students in New Jersey. So for the students who are in our bilingual ESL programs, our multilingual learners who already speak another language, what we want to do is encourage our students and our children to maintain that language, to keep that home language. And if possible, because they may not be learning that language in school, but how can you expose the child to become literate in your home language while adding English? And then the other group of students would be our English speaking students. And we want to encourage them to learn another language and to become biliterate in that other language as well. So it's a program that really benefits all students in New Jersey, whether you're a multilingual speaker and learner, or you start out only speaking English. How can you obtain a seal of biliteracy? So it is a program that was designed to impact both groups of students.
Este programa fue diseñado para que sea un premio para cualquier estudiante, no importa si el estudiante viene de habla inglés. Aprendiendo otro idioma obviamente es un logro que se usa global en el mundo global, pero también queremos que los estudiantes que tengan otro idioma, que vienen de familias que hablen español o francés o alemán o cualquier otro idioma, que mantengan ese idioma maternal y que sigan creciendo ese idioma a través de formas académicas, también a lo que también están aprendiendo el inglés. Así que los estudiantes multilingües que vienen de familias que tienen múltiples idiomas están también beneficiando de este honor.
So also, as Jackie just mentioned, it really does prepare our students for the global world that we live in. You know, we don't live in this one little bubble. We are interacting with countries around the world. And the one thing that I found is how it certifies attainment of biliteracy. So many people are biliterate, but it's so nice to have this seal that really certifies, yes, you are biliterate. one of the first years we did the program, we had a supervisor share with us. She would meet with the students and say, oh, you passed. And the one student went out of her office to say, guess what? I'm bilingual. So having this seal was that certification that yes, you do know 2 languages, and not just speaking, but also reading and writing. And that's why it's that biliteracy is our goal of being able to speak, read, and write in at least 2 languages. We have had students who have actually gotten this seal of biliteracy in 3 languages. So the sky's the limit.
Como mencionó la señorita BJ, el obtener el sello nos prepara para el mundo global, no solamente para comunicarnos con las personas, especialmente que tenemos la tecnología y podemos accesar a personas en cualquier parte del mundo, pero también es una certificación para empleados o para otras personas que certifican que el niño habla, lee, comprende el otro idioma. Así que es tan necesario, especialmente cuando el niño va a universidad o a un empleado que le puede demostrar con ese certificado que sí es bilingüe.
And so, exactly. So you want a job, and the job is saying, we want bilingual workers. You have a certificate that said you are bilingual. Going to college, when you go to college, you can provide that certificate. It depends on the college, but some colleges are giving college credits for the seal of biliteracy, or they're allowing students to advance in the study of that language. So it is, again, a document, a certification that helps you with getting jobs or going to college to advance your skills. And then one of the last reasons is that it does promote biliteracy in public schools. And that is one of our goals, that we really promote all students becoming biliterate in our New Jersey public schools. We have found that it strengthens the intergroup relationships when children can speak to each other in different languages. It affirms that value of diversity, that this is an asset. This is something that is positive. It's not a deficit to know another language. It is an asset to know more than one language. And it honors the multiple cultures and languages of a community. And New Jersey really is a state with many, many different cultures and languages. And so it really is an opportunity to honor all of the different groups that live here in our state.
El obtener este sello es tan importante para todas las escuelas públicas de Nueva Jersey. El promover, entender, comprender, hablar y leer múltiples idiomas es un beneficio, es algo positivo. No solamente endurece las relaciones entre grupos diferentes, diversos, pero también afirma el valor y honor que le debemos otorgar al idioma, a la cultura y a todo lo que se trae para ser uno, ¿verdad? Uno, su identidad. Entonces, este sello también honra las diferentes culturas que tenemos aquí en New Jersey. Se habla más de 300 idiomas aquí en New Jersey y este sello en verdad honra de una perspectiva académica.
So that's always the good news. But then we start to dig a little bit and we look at the numbers and the data. And there is a problem, because what we saw was that the majority of the students who were obtaining the seal were the students who speak English and were studying the language in school. And we didn't see enough of our multilingual learners going and obtaining the seal of biliteracy. And that's something that we really want to promote. These are students who are in our schools. They already have another language. They're acquiring English. And so we want to, again, look at our population as an asset and get these students involved in this program and obtaining the seal of biliteracy.
Bueno, dimos todas las noticias buenas al principio, pero sí tenemos que reconocer que hay un problema. BJ comenzó diciendo que este programa es un premio para todos los niños, pero lo que vemos en los datos son que los niños que vienen de un hogar que habla diferentes idiomas no están reconocidos o no tienen acceso a este premio, a este sello, en la misma cantidad que niños que vienen de habla inglés. Así que estamos reconociendo que los niños que hablan inglés y están aprendiendo otro idioma, se está dando ese reconocimiento. Pero para los niños que ya vienen con otro idioma que no sea inglés y están aprendiendo el inglés, entonces no se ve tanto. Aquí vemos que solamente un poquito más de 1,000 niños que vienen de un hogar que ya tienen el idioma, que ya pueden participar en este reconocimiento, que sería tan fácil dar ese certificado. No vemos los números en alto. Entonces tenemos que hablar sobre este problema en alto.
Sí, recuerdas, en este año había 7,000 and solamente 1,000 son current or former multilingual learners. So, es un problema. So here are some of the reasons, the challenges for our English learners, our multilingual learners. They actually have to hit a higher score in English than our English speakers need to score in the world language. So that's one of the issues that may keep some of our students from getting the seal of biliteracy. And it's something, again, to look for. We know socially, our students, multilingual students, do have to meet that higher bar in English in order to graduate. And when it comes to the seal of biliteracy, then it is more challenging for our students to acquire that level of English than it is for our English speakers to acquire the level in the world language.
Aquí vemos que uno de los obstáculos y preocupaciones que debemos de tener es que nuestros niños que vienen de hogares donde se habla otro idioma tienen que pasar unas normas más altas que los niños que vienen de hogares de habla inglés. Entonces queremos hablar de nuevo en voz alta. ¿Por qué es esto? ¿Por qué son las criterios diferentes para las diferentes estudiantes?
Also, you have to pay. So to take the test in the other language, not in English, but in the other language, the district has to pay for this assessment. And again, because this is optional, it's not mandated, each district decides how to deal with this. So some districts do pay for the assessment. It's part of the budget. Yolanda was talking about this in her session about the budget and how important it is to know about this. And then there are other districts who do not pay for it. And so the parents have to pay for this assessment in the other language. And so that is a challenge for our low-income students who may then not be able to participate just because they can't. If the district is making the parents pay, they don't have that money in order to pay for that test. So this has become an advocacy issue, and equity is a big topic in our state. So how can we make this equitable? And if a district is participating in the seal of biliteracy, to really encourage districts to include that fee for the assessment in their budgets.
Otro obstáculo puede ser el costo de este reconocimiento. Este reconocimiento sí se tiene que pagar. Algunos distritos han decidido poner este reconocimiento como parte de su presupuesto. Entonces, en esos distritos los niños no tienen que pagar, pero sí hay otros distritos donde los distritos no pagan por este reconocimiento y los padres que quieren participar tienen que salir de su bolsillo para pagar por este reconocimiento. Entonces, ¿cómo llegamos a la igualdad para que los niños que quizás sean de bajos recursos o no tengan el modo para pagar aún puedan participar? Esta es de nuevo una preocupación grande para asegurarnos que todos los niños tengan el mismo acceso y oportunidad para este reconocimiento.
Also, we mentioned that the English-speaking students are taking classes in their areas, and so the languages are limited to the language studied. So if you're not a French speaker or a Spanish speaker or Italian or German, there's not that AP exam for students who speak other languages. And so that's, again, something that is a challenge and limits the languages, especially if they're obtaining their seal of biliteracy through an AP class. And AP is
También,
advanced
sorry.
placement. No, AP is advanced placement.
También hay limitaciones en términos de los exámenes formales. Usualmente los exámenes formales tienen exámenes en los idiomas más populares, ¿no? Sería el español o el francés o el italiano. Entonces, a veces nos encontramos que no hay un examen para el idioma que hablamos en el hogar para demostrar que sí somos bilingües en ese idioma. También los exámenes AP, que son el Academic Placement, como dijo BJ, usualmente se ofrece a niños que están en clases de alta, académica alta. Entonces, de nuevo, para los niños que quizás no estén en estas clases, ¿cómo podemos registrar a estos niños aún para tomar el sello de alfabetización?
So this is changing. The Department of Education is now following our English learners so that we can encourage our students to be involved and ask for the seal of biliteracy and again, advocate for the assessments.
Una buena noticia es que el Departamento de Educación del Estado de Nueva Jersey ahora sí que reconoce este obstáculo, está tomando o recogiendo datos para ver cuántos de nuestros niños multilingües están accesando este reconocimiento. Como mencionó la señorita BJ anteriormente, solamente un poquito más de 1,000 de casi 7,000 niños de nuestra comunidad recibieron este honor. Así que teniendo los datos podemos hacer una diferencia, no solamente entendiendo la diferencia, pero como padres podemos, ya que reconocemos que hay valor y este es un reconocimiento que puede avanzar su niño, usted puede ir al distrito y pedir que se haga ese reconocimiento.
So now let's look at solutions. Those are a problem. How can we solve our problems? And it takes a village. So not one person or entity. We really need our parents and families to be aware of this option, this opportunity. We need the Department of Education, which has been very cooperative and very helpful in moving this forward. Our professional organizations like NJTESOL-NJBE and the Foreign Language Educators of New Jersey. We also need our local districts. So wherever your child is going to school, need to be a part of the solution. We can always look to the legislature for laws that might help, as we said about the budget. That might be something that would be helpful. And also our colleges and universities, how they can contribute and support this idea of having biliterate graduates of our high school. So we're going to do each one of these groups. And I know we're running out of time, so we'll go as quickly as we can. So, and this was already mentioned, so starting at the grassroots of parents and families. And again, I was so moved by our session with our parent panel. Your voice is so important and you do have power. And so part of that power is knowing that you can ask, does your school participate in the seal of biliteracy? And if not, ask them to participate because you have a child who is bringing an asset into that district with their first language. And so we want to celebrate that. We want to make sure that these students are included in this initiative. So it can just start with a parent asking that question in the district. In your home, encourage, and I know this is probably some, we always hear this from students and parents that oh, my child doesn't want to speak my home language. And we have to make sure, and from a school district, from teachers and parents, that encouraging your child to maintain that home language, speak to family and community members, read books and articles, write, whatever we can do to really encourage and get the message to our children. This is an asset. This is a positive thing that you are bringing to the school, and you want to keep it because it definitely will be very beneficial as you get older.
Bueno, todos tenemos el deber de involucrarnos para asegurar que cada niño tenga la oportunidad y tenga acceso a ese reconocimiento. Comenzamos con los padres, que pueden hacer los padres y las familias. Simplemente preguntar, ¿existe este reconocimiento en la escuela o el distrito de mi niño? También mantener el idioma maternal, ya sea leyendo libros en su idioma en su casa con los niños, hablando en voz alta con los niños. Y sé que a veces hay pelea entre los niños y la familia, que los niños quizás no quieren hablar ese idioma maternal, pero reconocer y recordar a los niños del poder de hablar otro idioma. Así que también hay clases que se pueden registrar, ya sean los sábados o como una comunidad pueden venir juntos y dar ejemplo de cómo se puede mantener el idioma maternal.
So because again, the example of parents working together, so talking to other parents, sometimes their children, they're not in a ESL or bilingual program, but they speak a language other at home. So maybe they speak it, but they don't read or write it. You could ask the school, could they create a class? And it's usually called a heritage language class. So it's for those students who speak a language at home other than English, but perhaps have not learned how to read or write. And so if they could have a class like that at the high school, that would prepare those students for the Seal of Biliteracy. And again, working together, we have heard in some communities that they create these Saturday classes for students in order to maintain their first language. So looking from the community perspective as well as the school perspective, how to support parents and families in keeping that first language alive. Again, we need our teachers to be aware that this exists and to be advocates. Our bilingual ESL high school teachers are our best advocates. So again, encouraging the school from the teacher side to participate in this initiative and to encourage their current and former Ls to participate. So we know lots of times teachers have that special power that they can encourage the students to participate. So knowing that this is available and then talking to their students who could possibly obtain the Seal of Biliteracy and getting them to participate.
A veces los maestros no saben que esta oportunidad existe en sus distritos, así que los padres que están escuchando hoy vayan a la escuela y se lo comenten a los maestros de sus niños. Pero también es importante que los maestros entiendan el poder de hablar otro idioma, de ser bilingüe, ¿verdad? Queremos que los maestros también no solamente entiendan el valor, pero que hagan espacio en sus salones de clase para que los niños puedan seguir hablando su idioma de su hogar.
Also asking to have a survey and finding those students who speak other languages. They may not be in a language program, but they speak another language at home, encouraging these students to participate. Looking for the students can test in home languages that are not offered as classes. So we have many students who speak Gujarati, Turkish, Arabic, Japanese. They may not have a class in those languages, but those students can still qualify for a Seal of Biliteracy. They take that test in that language, they can qualify. You do not have to be in the class in high school. It's about performance. And then, really advertising in school to try and attract English learners and heritage speakers to participate.
Otra manera que los padres pueden ayudar es de nuevo usar su voz en voz alta, hablando con las escuelas. También se puede identificar qué son los idiomas en la escuela que no se hablan o no tienen una clase formal. A veces los padres pueden pedir que una clase se forme. En algunos distritos se llama una clase de idioma de herencia para que los niños que hablen otro idioma que no se da en una clase formal, como de nuevo español o francés, puedan participar. Lo que uno tiene que saber es el punto que un estudiante no tiene que ser parte de una clase formal para participar en este reconocimiento. El niño simplemente tiene que tomar el examen y demostrar que se entiende, que se habla y que se escribe este idioma en el idioma que han escogido.
The other thing is to encourage and talk to districts. How can they create a pathway to biliteracy? So sometimes starting at the high school is too late. And so can they have a dual language program in the elementary school? Can something be done in the middle school where, again, we honor and recognize students who are proficient in two languages? So not waiting until high school, but looking at elementary and middle schools, and how can we promote this biliteracy in all the grades?
A veces si esperamos hasta la secundaria, tenemos estudiantes que quizás no sean tan competentes en su idioma primaria porque ya vemos que el inglés domina en algunas comunidades, entonces los niños están hablando inglés y a veces están perdiendo ese idioma maternal. Pero ¿cómo podemos animar a las escuelas que tengan estrategias o programas más formales, ya sea en los grados elementar o en los grados del 5º al 8º, para que los niños puedan seguir creciendo su competencia en el idioma maternal que traen de su hogar? Entonces, de nuevo, como padres podemos animar o dar sugerencias a las escuelas para que hagan caminos ya desde las escuelas elementales hasta la secundaria.
And finally, students who receive the seal of biliteracy can come back and talk to the students in school and share with them how that seal of biliteracy impacted them.
Finalmente, otra sugerencia para las escuelas es que usen el poder de los niños que obtenieron este reconocimiento, que los niños regresen a la escuela y den testimonio del proceso, el valor de este sello de alfabetización, para que ellos puedan hablar con los niños que quizás tengan interés o quizás no tengan interés, pero se puedan animar cuando ya ven a un colega, a otro alumno que ha obtenido el reconocimiento.
So, and then the last one was for, again, create public service announcements to be shared with the community about the seal of biliteracy. So everyone has heard about it, knows about it, and is aware of this opportunity.
Finalmente, de nuevo, hablen en voz alta ya en sus redes sociales, en la radio o en el periódico local, en el papel local, sobre esta oportunidad para que todos estemos al tanto que esta oportunidad existe.
We're going to just go fast. We talked about the Department of Education. And then another opportunity is how can, for some of the low incidence means Swahili, not many students speak it, but how can they create an assessment in these other languages? And I know the Department of Education is very flexible and does work with districts when there is this opportunity for students. So that's something that the Department of Ed has done as well.
También el Departamento Estatal de Nueva Jersey puede dar soluciones también, por ejemplo, para los exámenes con el idioma de baja frecuencia, pueden tener como un banco para recoger todos los exámenes que se hacen en los distritos con estos otros idiomas. Entonces, los distritos no tienen que inventar la rueda de nuevo, ¿verdad? Pueden ir a este banco y seleccionar el examen que necesitan para ese idioma de bajo frecuencia.
Right, so this is another, these are the tests for the other languages. So again, the Department of Education is urging them to create more languages. And in addition to that, working with other states, as Jackie said, having a bank, right, of working with other states with these other languages, in addition to having the actual formal testing groups create other languages. So being advocates at that level. Because I think, Jackie, you mentioned we have 300 languages in New Jersey. So obviously we don't have 300 assessments in those languages. So we have to be proactive and creative. From the college and university, we really are encouraging colleges and universities to grant college credit. Right now, a lot of them, let's say a student has a seal of biliteracy and they'll say, oh, okay, so if you're going to continue studying a language, you can start at level 3 since you have the seal of biliteracy. But we think it would really be financially beneficial to parents and students if the college granted some a credit, 3 credits at least, for the seal of biliteracy. We're looking at, how can we advance their college enrollment and getting the credits they need to graduate, and showing the seal of biliteracy is one way to do that.
También ya sabemos que la universidad es bien costosa. Una manera de animar que los colegios y las universidades participen en las soluciones para asegurar igualdad para todos los niños es ofrecer créditos para los niños que ya obtenieron el sello. Por ejemplo, en la universidad cada crédito cuesta algo. Así que si llega un niño con el sello, con la muestra que pasó el sello y ha obtenido el sello, los colegios y las universidades pueden dar crédito y reconocer que ya pasaron esa clase y ya no tienen que hacer esa clase de nuevo. Y de esa manera las familias están ahorrando dinero.
And we want our colleges and universities, I'm going the wrong way. Sorry. To also recruit our seal of biliteracy recipients. There are many careers that need biliterate individuals: business, healthcare, psychology, social sciences, education. We need certified bilingual people. So colleges should look at these 7,000, 8,000 students who are graduating with a seal of biliteracy and encourage them to attend, because they would benefit our society in so many different careers.
Lo más de 7,000 niños que se gradúan con este sello de reconocimiento es un recurso enorme para el estado de Nueva Jersey. Entonces, los colegios y las universidades deben de aprovechar la oportunidad de hacer outreach a estos niños para que entren al colegio y obtengan el certificado de ser bilingüe. También en el estado, los maestros bilingües estamos en un escaso, ¿no? Entonces no hay suficientes maestros para enseñar a los niños que tenemos, particularmente en las áreas bilingües. Pero ya si podemos aprovechar la oportunidad de hablar, de conversar y atraer estos niños, más de 7,000 niños que han obtenido el reconocimiento, sería un gran recurso para nuestro estado.
Colleges could also grant the seal of biliteracy, but I just want to move to the next, and we'll end with the next part, Jackie. Just want to let you know what we are doing as an organization, NJTESOL-NJBE. So every year, and actually last year we offered two $2,000 scholarships for a current or former English learner who attained the seal of biliteracy. So we really are trying to encourage our multilingual learners to get this recognition, and we are offering 2 $2,000 scholarships. We also, there is an award given to the parents that has been named in Jackie Leon's mom's name, Praxedis Leon Parent Award. So $500 is given to the parents of those 2 scholarship winners, because we want to recognize the role of parents and how important your role is to encourage that maintaining of the first language and achieving the seal of biliteracy. So that is something that we are doing as an organization to personally to promote the seal of biliteracy.
También como una organización para promover el sello de alfabetización, cada año se da 2 becas para un niño o niña que ha obtenido el sello. Como una organización es importante demostrar que ese sello tiene valor. También se reconoce a los padres y las familias del niño o niña, porque de nuevo los padres tienen un rol enorme como, ¿cómo se dice? Se me está esqueciendo la palabra partners, como colaboradores en la educación de nuestros niños. Entonces, esas 2 becas, una beca para el niño y un premio para los padres, es tan importante para recordarnos a todos del valor de este sello.
We do recognize the superintendents who support the seal of biliteracy. And I just want to then just go to the legislators, but we're working with them. These are some links, so you can have this PowerPoint of the state seal of biliteracy and NJTESOL-NJBE, where you'll see some information. And I know we only have 1 or 2 minutes, but I don't know if anyone has any questions or comments. And you can use the chat. Oh, I do see some questions in the chat? Okay, and Jackie posted some links. No questions? So thank you so much. And hopefully this is again something that we think is a positive that we want to promote with our students and advocate on all different levels in order to have that opportunity to obtain the seal of biliteracy. So